Hi everyone, this is Radul Live and we are here at the Kasarani National Stadium. By the way, it doesn't even need an introduction. When you look behind, you can see it's Kasarani. But today we're here to talk about athletics, not football. Now, they say behind every successful man, there is a woman. But in this case, a woman with her own ambition. So today I want to introduce you to Laventa Omanyala. Yay! Who is a rising star in herself. Laventa, first of all, introduce yourself in terms of the races you run and for people who've never heard of you. I know they've seen you,
okay,
but they don't know you. Some don't even know you run as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. So I'm Laventa Omanyala. I do 100 meters, 200 meters and long jump. But my best event is the long jump and the 100 meters. So the 200 meters, I only do it because of I have
Because
to do
you
it.
can.
Because I can, but I don't like it at all.
But how did you get into athletics and decide you're going to do it professionally?
Imagine, the weird thing is I've been running ever since I was young. Was that crazy?
We all ran, but we all didn't decide we're going to do this and do it.
Okay, so in primary school, I used to run, but during games time. So when it reached competition, I could chicken out all of the competitions. So I remember I only went for one competition, and before that competition, my teacher came and gave me chips. A bribe.
You were bribed with chips?
Yeah, to go and run.
Chips.
So I went, participated, and I was like, oh, I'm good. So that was the end of my primary school competition. So I went to high school. Then my mom in high school, you know those high schools that you have moms that take care of you.
Someone in a higher class.
So I used to sleep on top, she sleeps behind, upper chini. So my mom was actually an athlete. So she used to do 100 meters. So during games time, I was like, she was like, Toto, field. So that is how I got into athletics. So I started accompanying her every games time. I could go train with her. And I was like, I think I'm good. So during my first term in school, I actually went up to the provincial level. And I was like, okay, I can
do this without even trying.
Yeah. So that is how I kickstarted my career in athletics. So I've been, and actually athletics was a scapegoat in high school. You know why? I studied in Western. School was so hard, my guy. So athletics was the only thing that could get you out of school.
But it sounds like you had natural talent, not even...
No, I think it's just natural talent, because the fact that I did it because it was fun and I could get out of school. So, and athletics was fun because first time you're out of school, second time you're out of school, then third time is short. So that is how I loved athletics in high school.
Now, if you were doing that without even effort, I guess at some point you realize, Allah, if I just put a little bit more effort and not just do it to get out of class, I could be something. I could do something.
That realization for me has come very late in life, because even after high school, I still went to campus, and in campus there was still athletics. So in 2015, I went for my 2014 I went for my first trial for the national games. So where the regions go they pick a team for the regions to come for the nationals. So I went late. I think the event was in Mumias, and my hometown is in Kaimosi. So traveling all the way to Mumias, I arrived late. 100 meters was already done.
Oops.
So the only event I had to do was long jump. I did long jump. I won the long jump competition. So
had you been training for long jump?
No, I was not training.
Lovely, I'm getting annoyed with you because it shows how much natural talent you have. Then?
So I made the team. But now they were like, no, we don't, long jump, really? So they didn't take me to nationals. So I was like, okay, fine. It wasn't a bother anyway, because I was just doing it because I didn't feel any pain being left out. So I went to college. Then in campus, I'm like, in campus there are very many things you have to do to survive.
Yes.
So school is natural, but now you have to do things to survive. So athletics was one means of survival for me. Because now with athletics, it was easy. I didn't used to train, because while I was in campus, dancing was the major part of my campus life. I used to dance because on weekends, we could get money.
So is this dancing as in you're going to the club, or is dancing as in it's a formal
No, it was a dance
activity?
crew. It was a dance
Okay.
crew. It was a school dance crew. But now we're in Eldoret, so we used to go for shows during weekends. So I was assured every weekend I have money.
Pocket money.
Yes, and I have to make money to survive in campus. So dancing was my main event in school. Then I could do athletics. Used to come once in a while. So when athletics came, I could train for 3 days. Then I go.
And you run and
compete.
you win.
Yeah. So my first. So I joined campus in 2013, and my first event was the East Africa University Games. So before we went for the East Africa University Games in Uganda, we had our KUSA University Games in Kenya. So I came second in every event. So I did 100 meters, 200 meters, and long jump, and I came second without training.
For 3 days.
For 3 days, I was like, "Oh, we have competition."
You're making me angry.
Okay.
You know that.
So I was like, okay. I went. I came second. So being second, I went for the East African Games. So when I went for the East African Games, it's when I realized, oh, people are running actually. So I came seventh in the 100 meters final. Then I came back. So until then, I wasn't still doing athletics.
About it?
No, I wasn't serious with athletics at all. For me, it was just something fun to do.
When did the transition happen?
Oh, for me, the transition happened 2 years ago. Imagine. 2 years ago, when I was still working, so I gave birth, I finished school, started working, gave birth, then got unemployment. So while I was being employed, on Saturdays I could come train and still compete. And when at the competition, I'm at the same league with people who are training every day. So that was a realization for me. I was like, if actually I only train on Saturdays, and I'm still competing with people who train daily, and I'm still beating some of them, I think I can do it. Yeah.
Tell me about, now I want us to get romantic here. I want you to tell me how you met Fadi and what influence he had on your decision to get serious with athletics. First of all, tell me the romantic story. See, you guys want to hear the romantic story. How did you meet the fastest man in Africa? He wasn't fastest yet, but how did you meet him? It's a small diversion from athletics.
Our story backdates. So the first time I saw him was in 2016 during the nationals. I think we had nationals here. So you see, I've been here in 2015. So I came for my first nationals in 2015. So in 2016, I'm already a pro in this area. So I'm seated there. I was in the nationals. So I competed until the semifinals. Then watching the finals, I hear people talking. Hey, there is this kid. He's just come out of nowhere.
Kid? You call him a kid?
Yeah, he was a kid. They're like, there's this kid who has just come from nowhere and he's winning. You see? So when they were like, he's winning, so it caught my attention. I was like, who's that? Who's winning? Okay, so I saw him. I was like, okay, so that is a college boy winning. And that was just but
Please
it.
tell him not to watch this interview.
I was like, oh, I think that was just but it. Nothing crossed my mind. So we went for the university games. So while we were at the university games, I saw him. And I was like, oh, so this is the guy who won. I was like, okay.
Not bad.
Yeah, that is when I saw him close range. I was like, oh, so that is how he looks. I was like, okay. Kumbe. Kumbe he had noticed me, you see, because apparently I was the best in campus. During my time, I was the reigning 100 meters champion. I was the reigning long jump champion. So during my time, he saw me. He was like, oh, who's that Chile? She looks good. So I think that is the initial attraction happened there. But now we never met, we never talked. For me, I was like just checking on him. Oh, that is how you look, okay. Then we actually we never saw each other again. Then we meet during the company games. You know, we have these companies, they usually have their games and they have teams. So in athletics, they don't have a team for athletics. So they pick people to, it's actually like nurturing athletes because CAK will take athletes to nurture, KPA will take athletes to nurture, then you compete against each other. So he was representing CAK, I was representing Kenya Maritime Authorities.
Okay.
So we met at Nakuru. So you know, you are in college, you've been given allowance, you've been given money to run some bowling, but you know, that bowling, that level of bowling, you can't go to a hotel to eat, so you go to a kibanda. So during lunch, I went with my teammates to a kibanda there. We are eating. So I finish eating, I stand up, I go to pay my bill. Coincidentally, he's there paying his own bill. So he's like, hi, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. And he went straight to his point. He was like, can I get your number? I was like, huh? Are you mad? In my head, I'm like, are you mad? I'm like, oh, these boys, they are the same. So I'm like, let me.
You're already dismissing me.
So I was like, I know how to handle you. I was like, you can give me your number, I'll reach out. So I took his number, saved it, and left. And that was it.
You didn't reach out?
No. That was a way of getting rid of him. No, I was getting rid of him. I was like, for me to get rid of you, if I have your number, then I have control over.
Yes, over if I want to call or not. When did it happen now?
So we meet 6 months later here at Kasarani. We had the East Africa University Games. So I was representing my university, he was representing UN, and we bumped into each other the very first day of the East African Games. And actually the weird thing is that it happened here.
It was right here. It was right here.
So we meet, he's walking in.
Hallowed ground.
Yes! So we meet, he's walking in with his friend. I'm walking out with my friend. Then he's like, hi. Then we greet. You know, in athletics, you greet people casually. Like, and he's like, can I get your number? And
because clearly you're not using mine.
That time I felt guilty. He now asked me, can I get your number? I'm like, now I started feeling guilty. I'm like, I have your number. I'll text you. Then I go. Then that day, I was like, this boy. So I texted him, hi, this is Lavi. So I think that was the beginning of everything. I texted him, so we became friends.
What influence did he have on you taking your athletics career to the next level? Because I'm sure he had an influence.
He has a very big influence in me taking the athletics very seriously. Because initially I was just doing it for fun. I'm talented, yes, but I wasn't seeing what athletics can give
what it can do for you.
So when he got the breakthrough, when he went for the Olympics and things started opening up, we had a discussion and he was like, I think my career has already picked up. And we had had these conversations before. In my mind and in my heart, I had few months ago, I had started feeling like I'm done. I'm fed up with working. So we had this conversation. And by then, when we were talking, we were not sure about the future. So a few months later, 6 months later, it happens. Then we come and sit back down, and he's like, remember we talked about this? My career has picked up. I would love for you to explore your career.
Oh, that's the most romantic thing ever.
So he's like, what will it take you for you to explore your career? I was like, I can't work and at the same time focus on this. So if I'm going to focus on this, then I'll have to give up working. So
you better pay the bills, dude.
Yes. So that is how we came to that conclusion. So he decided that he's going to support me fully in whatever I want, in anything I want, so that my career can also pick. So that is how he has supported me. Should I cry?
I'm crying. Honestly, take a break. But when we come back, I want us to delve more into your career, the races you participated, your goals, your plans for the season, and where you want to take this.
Yes.
Because what I'm hearing, if you put a daily effort in this, you will become the fastest woman in Africa.
Of course.
And why not?
Why not?
Then you'll be the fastest couple. Guys, this is Redu Live. We're at Kasarani. We're speaking to Laventa, Omanyala, and we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You want to hear this
after the show.
Wait, we go? So we... Today you're just today you're a by the way. Today you're a by the way. Today I'm doing the fastest woman in Africa to come.
Hi. Amina.
Guys, we're live at the Kasarani International Stadium. Yes, it's not just for football. This place is the heart of athletics in the country, and this is where the best of the best train. And today we are speaking to Laventa Omanyala. Yes, she, in the first half, oh, that story is romantic.
Okay.
By the way, a guy who supports you professionally, who wants you to grow, have your own identity.
Yeah.
That is everything.
It is.
Forget these guys who lie to you. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you have flowers. Make me better at what I do.
Yeah.
That is so, so special.
Yes.
Now, talking about your career. So, have you chosen your race? Are you focusing on a race? Are you still doing long jump? What's in store for Laventa?
What's in store for me is actually my passion and my heart is in the long jump. Mm-hmm. But I know the long jump has a lot of things that I need to work on. Mm-hmm. So this year I tried to kickstart my career in long jump. I want to be an athlete like Tiana Bartoletta. She is an American athlete. She was very good in the 100 meters and still very good in long jump. So that is what I see myself.
That's what you aspire.
Yeah, that is what I aspire, because I see myself as a very multi-talented athlete. I can be very good in 100 meters and still be very, very good in the long jump. Mm-hmm. So the long jump would be my primary career. Then the 100 meters would be a backup.
Secondary. When it comes to long jump, where are we as Kenya? Because we are known, apart from Julius Yego, we're just known for track work.
Yes.
Even in terms of the facilities we provide for our athletes to grow in these other events. I spoke to Yego was telling me he can't even train the next generation because of the cost of a what do you call it? A javelin.
Yeah.
So luckily he has partners who send second-hand stuff that he can then offload. But still, we as a country, if we want to grow our field events, we need to invest in it. So what are some of the challenges you are experiencing in long jump, even in terms of who trains you?
Long jump is very, very complicated. When I went into it, I thought you just run and jump. I thought it was that simple, but it takes a lot. And interestingly is that the one man that supported my career supported me also when he went for the indoor games in France. So he talked to the team there, and I was able to go for exposure. He was like, you know, for you to grow, you need to get exposure. You need to know what people are doing outside. You need to know what
you don't know.
Yeah, you need to know what you don't know, and how people train for the long jump and for the 100 meters also. You just need to get exposure. So luckily when I went there, I went for a training camp for 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. And that was the most amazing thing I've ever done. Because when I was there, I learned a lot. It opened my eyes because long jump was very technical. So I met coaches there and saw how they trained. They trained me for some time, for the 3 weeks. And I came back home. And immediately I came back. What made me come back was we had a meeting in Nyayo. So I cut short my trip there and came back. And surprisingly, I jumped 5:44, which is almost my PB. My PB is 5:45. So that is just a PB for me.
Wow.
Which I said, I think...
Just based on that 3 weeks professional training?
Yeah, 3 weeks professional training gave me a 5:44. And I can say it without denying it. We had a lady also called Zedi. She went there. I left because she was in the under-20 team. So I left there while they were still training, and she came back. And she has actually jumped 6 meters this season. Yeah, and it's not just a 6 flat, it's a 6'2". You know, 6'2" is quite good in athletics. So I can say...
What's the world record?
I'll break it one day.
What is it?
It's going to take me, like, let me say 8 years to break it, but I'll break it. 8
years?
Yeah.
But you'll break it?
But I'll break it.
You heard it here. She will break
7 meters, 5'2".
7 meters?
7.52.
7.52. 7.52 or 7.052?
7.52.
Like 7.5 meters?
Yeah.
A human being does that? A woman?
It was set, I think, in 1960 something. it has stayed for the longest time.
So we have a, what's that? Do you know the Africa record?
The African record, yeah, it's 7:30.
It's 7:30.
Yeah, by a Nigerian
Based on
lady.
the training you got when you were in France and the development you've had since then, are you getting better? Are you seeing the progress?
I was getting better, but setbacks happen in athletics. So I got a knee injury,
Oh no.
which
yes.
has been my major setback this season. But I believe that whatever I got there, coming back and implementing it, were it not for the knee injury, we would have seen better results. But I'm glad I got there, I learned, and now I know going forward what I need exactly to do in the long jump, what I need exactly in 100 meters. There's few things we've learned there, here and there, how people just prepare for races. You see, those are the exposure you get. You can't get a full 3D picture, but you can get something that
You can
will
learn
open
bits
your
and
mind.
pieces.
Yeah, so while I
Because
was
it's
there,
not just standing up and running.
no, you see how people prepare for races, how people warm up, because basically here there's a different way we warm up. But when you go out, you realize people warm differently for a race. It's not the same way you warm up for a training. So those are some of the few things you pick out and you come and implement and you grow and you become better.
Do you have a coach here?
Yeah, I have a coach. His name is Coach Duncan. He coaches both of us.
Oh, he coaches 100 meters and he also does long jump.
No, he oversees my long jump, but for him,
So he coaches you 100 meters.
100 meters. He coaches me 100 meters, but the long jump, it's something that is new for him. So it's something that he has to research, and we have to explore options. I go outside, I learn, we come back, we combine, then we do.
Athletics Kenya, are they doing anything in terms of trying to get people to train you? Because they should have coaches you can,
We have coaches in Kenya.
but at what level, you know? Not
We have-
high school. We all did these things in high school.
No,
I've been a PE teacher, I've been a coach.
We have good coaches in Kenya.
Even for long jump.
For long jump, I've not just tried them yet, but also
plan.
it's because just like Omanyala did, he went through with the 100 meters and he gave us a breakthrough so that people started believing it's possible. Now many young men believe it's possible in the 100 meters. I think that is what we field event ladies need to do. So we need to make it possible for them to see, because you know, as much as we try to blame people, it's so hard for people to invest in something they're not seeing.
Yeah, but no. Let me not agree with you, because let me tell you where we get it wrong as a country. We wait for you to do it.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be.
That
We,
is
as managers of sport, as ministries, as federations, as whatever you call it, should provide the facilities to build that. They should be looking at a 10-year-old in school and saying, you know what? They should be looking at Lavi when she was still in high school and saying, you know that talent of yours? We're going to help you groom it.
Let me tell you an interesting thing.
Not wait for Omanyala to
For
do it on
Omanyala
his
to do
own.
it. Now,
And then suddenly we're all there saying, hey.
now that is the unfortunate thing about our
It's
country.
very unfortunate.
That is what happens. You have to make it. I think you have to be a sacrificial lamb. Then they now
to
start
prove to people it can be
yeah,
done.
it can be done.
I wish it wasn't that way. I wish Athletics Kenya would in every single discipline say, you know what, we are sending coaches to train abroad.
Yeah.
Because you're only as good as your coaching.
Yeah.
You know, you will get stunted at some point. Like you, France, 3 weeks, you
Yes.
got better.
Yes.
What would happen if you had that training here? You wouldn't take 8 years to break the world record.
No.
You
Maybe
take 2 years.
maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 5. We don't know.
What races have you participated in? You were in the national championships the other day?
Yes, I was.
How did you do?
I ran almost my PB. My PB is 12:1, which I've run this season. I give a lot of credit to Coach Duncan, because this is my second year training professionally. Last year was my first year and this is my second year. Last year I ran 12:4, injury free. I had a lot of issues. You know, when you're starting to come to do sports professionally, then your body has to adapt. So my body last year was going through a lot of adaptation, and I finished with a 12:4. This year I did a 12:1 in Kisii, which is a PB for me.
Nice.
Then after Kisii, I started feeling the knee issue. So I have been rehabbing my injury for the last 2 months. And it was just a blessing to come to the nationals and run, because let me tell you, 3 weeks to the competition, I was not sure if I was going to run. I could come with the pain, you can't run, I'm limping. I was literally limping. And I'm like, I'm not sure. So 3 weeks, 2 weeks into it, 1 week into it, I'm like, now it's time for mind over body. You're feeling the pain, it's okay. Sifana-san felt the pain, but still finished the marathon and won. So that
as long as you're not making the injury worse.
Yeah, so that is the mentality I went with it into the, of course I was going for physio sessions. So once I was cleared to continue training, I just told my body it is mind over body and it's time to go. So I did a 12:2. Which is almost near to my PB and coming actually from an injury.
Coming out of injury, doing almost your PB.
Imagine.
And the difference is point. I don't understand it's this.
It's very small. Then I did 4x100 and we came third with my teammates. So I didn't do the long jump because I'm still rehabbing my knee. It has to go through rehab and to strengthen. So after my good session in France and my experience, I went through a setback in the long jump.
Which happens to every athlete, you know.
Yeah.
Injuries or...
It's because I wanted it so bad that the mistake I did was I started doing long jump in season instead of doing it off season. I was supposed to condition my body for the long jump during the off season.
That's why we need good coaches who are going to guide you on this.
Yeah.
You know, not even on the page, how to live your life out there. Because it affects an athlete. You never stop training. You leave Kasarani, you're resting. No. What you eat, how you sleep. What's a typical day for you like? You are here at what time?
Our typical day.
Yeah.
Wake up at 5:30.
I'm still snoring.
If we are coming for the gym, we have to take breakfast. So we are here by 6:30. We start the gym by 7. We finish at 9 or 9:30. We take a 30 minutes break. We come for the track session and do it until 12 or 1. Then you also, you know, stretching is also part of training. So you take 30 minutes to stretch. Then after that, you have to go for a physio session. Then you go home. So literally, it's a full day job.
It's a day.
Yes.
To be a professional athlete, it's a day. What do you eat for breakfast?
Breakfast. Now that we have a nutritionist who's guiding us, mostly we take either soup with buns, especially for breakfast when you want something heavy, but you have a heavy workout, so you need something that can sustain you for a long time.
Soup with the bun is a heavy...
Okay. Soup! Hey, have you taken mushroom soup and buns? Zile za kafo. You should try them. I think they'll sustain you for 2 hours.
Come and burn it here. I take it and then I go back to sleep.
So you take that, I take that, then we come for the morning session. Then when you go back home, you're ready, it's lunchtime, you have to take lunch. So lunch has to be balanced. It has to have protein and carbohydrates and vitamins. So anything that is balanced. So we are guided. So it's either you have to take rice.
And food is different on and off season?
No.
Or it's the same when
it's basically the same? Food is the same because it has to be balanced. Whether you're in season or off season, it has to be balanced.
Are there challenges when you travel and then you find, like France, French food? No, I hear that from so many athletes. So you literally carry your ugali flour to go and cook there.
I did. I carried.
You carried. Trust you.
Let me tell you,
you have a lawyer man. You have no choice.
I went for the World University Games in 2017. And an interesting thing is I was picked as the best female athlete in Kenya. He was picked as the best male athlete. So we went together. And we struggled for the first 3 days with food because there are a lot of foods. It's very spicy. You're not used to the Taiwanese and Chinese spices.
Everything from the oil to the what.
You're tasting food, it's like it is tasting, but it's not tasting. You're like, what the hell am I eating?
The food is not fooding.
So we struggled for 3 days and we were like, oh, there's the Asian section. So in the Asian section, you're like, okay, I think there's spaghettis and whatever and whatever. So after that experience, when we travel, especially to Europe, you carry ugali, you carry unga. Then other things you can, of course, meat you'll get there, but the basic food, which is ugali, you have to carry.
We have good meat in Africa.
We have.
Kwanza Kenya, we have good meat.
The meat you can't take a soup. Unajua pa Kenya lazima uweke supu. Uko ukiweka supu mazizi unakula vitu gani?
But I hear it a lot from the bodybuilders. They literally carry their entire meal for until after the tournament. After the tournament, then they can eat
So like if
McDonald's.
now, because we have mom, so when we traveling, we have to, she prepares dried vegetables. You see when they prepare food, kitamu,
Yeah.
So like for vegetables, they dry it, then they sun dry it. So when you carry it, when you go there, you just put it in water.
It's ready.
And it's ready and you cook.
What's in store for this year? What competitions are you looking forward to for this year, next year?
This year,
And I'm sure you have an Olympic dream.
Aye, who doesn't?
Maybe not Paris. I don't know. It could be.
It
but
could be.
Definitely.
Never say never.
Yeah.
So for me, every athlete's dream is to be an Olympian. If that's not your dream, then I don't know what you're doing in this track. So this year, my goal was to run the trials and just to lower my time. But because I'm still dealing with my injury, and I was also not invited for the trials. They only invited 3 ladies, mark you. So I don't know how
the timing is a bit off.
They only invited 3 ladies in the 100 meters. So I don't know
trials?
how the 3 ladies are going to run. Yes, that is another story. Because I've not been tested. Actually, you're supposed to be tested a lot of times for you to be invited.
Yeah.
And
to go for competitions, yeah.
Of all the ladies in Kenya, they've only tested 3, which is very weird. But
so only 3 will do trials?
I don't know. We'll wait and see. Yeah.
Okay.
So so I'm just continuing to train and
get better at what
to
you
get
do.
better, because when I close my season, I want to close my season at my best, so that I take a month off to rehab and to treat my leg, then come back for the off season, because all my dreams that I've not achieved this year have been pushed to next year. And the interesting thing is, the goals I set for this year, actually some of them have been pushed to next year. So I think that is just God working miracles all around, because the All African Games were supposed to happen this year. They have been pushed to next year.
So
March.
you have time to heal nicely.
I have time to heal, and all my goals go to as early as March next year. We are in the All African Games. I'm qualifying in the long jump. I'm qualifying in the 100 meters. So I'm going to double 100 meters and long jump in the All African Games. Then I come back. I'll go for the World Relays as the 4x100 teams for the ladies, and also maybe the 4x200 teams, because during the World Relays we have 4x200 meters. Then I come back and prepare for the Olympics.
The Olympics.
And you know, before the Olympics we have the Kipkeino Classic. And you know what? Last year they didn't do long jump as a main event, so I believe long jump will be a main event next year, ladies long jump. So
you'll be there, front and center.
Kai, tena ni win. Imagine winning a home crowd.
That would be fantastic.
You know, if
I'm always over there shouting. I refuse to
I
sit
saw
in,
you.
I
saw you with
sit
a
in
flag.
Yeah, I'm Shamba. I feel nothing.
VIP kuna fun. If you want fun, you go where the fans are.
I refuse to sit on those red chairs. Everyone is sitting like this. You can't cheer like this. No. I'm sorry. Yeah. Finally, I asked what influence Omanyala had on your career.
Yes.
What influence have you had? Because for a man to be that settled, performing at that level,
yes,
there's something really good happening at home, you know? No, I mean on a professional level.
Yes.
Yeah? And feel free to boast.
It's my boasting time.
It's boasting time.
Okay, so the most I think I've done for him is psychological. You know, by the way, I'm a social worker by profession, so I have to boast. So I've learned how to handle situations when they're tough, to handle situations where they're good. And that has really helped me a lot when I'm dealing with him. Because he's not just my better half, he's also the world's most treasured gem. So I have to take good care of him. So while I do that, I make sure that he's psychologically, at all times, he's psychologically settled. Because athletics is not just about winning. It's all about how do you prepare yourself. If you're stressed, you're not going to run. If you're troubled at home, I think things are not working out. I think do what has happened, you can't focus. So I have to make sure that everything that is surrounding him, the environment at home is very conducive for him.
Which is so important.
Yes. So
mustn't be underestimated.
Yeah, the environment at home must be at all times very conducive for him. And When he's just preparing, I remind him he already knows he's a star. So the only thing you can do, as a social worker, we are told people already know the solutions. When people are going through something, they know the issue they're going through, they know the solutions they have, but most of the time you just help them to articulate. So when he's going through something, I just make sure I let him see that he knows he's the best. He already knows, but you remind him in that situation that,
because it must be difficult when a race doesn't go as planned, travel plans don't go as planned, you know, and I'm sure he comes home and everybody brings their stresses home, yeah? Then you have to think, okay, I can't overreact because I know he's going through something. He's already being bashed by all the fans, you know. Look how slow he was. He didn't win, you know, all that negative energy. And then the stress comes and is released on you, but you have to be like...
The good thing...
So it's actually good you're trained.
The good thing with him is also he knows how to handle every situation. So before he actually goes to a race, he has prepared 3 scenarios in his head. The scenario where he wins, the scenario where he doesn't win, and the scenario where he's just in the middle. So when he prepares that in his mind, he already knows how he was going to react.
But it's still tough because you're dealing with us fans who want nothing less than a win.
Yes.
And if he doesn't, it's like, we're so good at putting our people, we're so good at putting our people down without understanding that there can be 3 scenarios.
You know, the interesting thing is we were actually laughing when he did the race in Rabat.
Yeah.
So after that, you see, it's sad, of course. I talked to him and I'm like, how are you feeling? He's like, you know, by the way, hata mimi sijafurahia. So it is a very sad mood, but he's also making it humor out of it. So we're actually talking and we start laughing because we're like, you know, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, you actually struggled to run a 10:01. But right now, if you run something less than a 10:0, we are disappointed because you've raised the bar so high that 10:0, you see, you've raised the bar so high that 10:0 is a very fast time. It is a time that can get you to any world championship final, and it can even make you contend for a medal. But because you've raised the bar so high, we are not content. You yourself, you're also not content.
I guess
himself is not content.
As long as you're your biggest critic and your biggest motivator, and you can find that self-motivation. I think we're out of time. I think we can talk forever. You and I can talk forever. But I wish you the best. I wish you the best in all your training. I can't wait for what is in store for you.
Imagine if I just jump 6 meters and 7, I'll be at the Olympic Games in Paris.
What does it take to get you up? Well, apart from injury.
What it takes? A good off-season training for me. Everything I'm going to do between now and January next year will carry everything for me next year. So guys, next year, watch out for me.
At the Olympics.
Apart from being Omanyala's shadow and partner.
And his biggest fan.
His biggest fan.
Yeah.
And everything. You also look out for me because I will be making you guys proud. It's time for my light to shine. Yes.
It's time for your light to shine.
I can tell the way I'm shining.
I love it. I love it. Guys, you've heard. It's time for her light to shine, and she's working for it.
Yeah,
she's not standing around waiting.
No.
She's working for it. But this has been an introduction to Laventa Omanyala. For me, the best is so yet to come, and it's coming soon. Just
Very
one
soon.
question. Do you regret not taking things so seriously when you're in school?
Yeah, partly.
Or it was God's plan?
It's God. I regret, but it's God's plan.
Because you've been... But
God's timing.
let's not look back. Let's look forward.
God's
Let's
timing.
look forward. Guys, thanks for watching Radul Live. We are here at Kasarani. And I gotta run. So see you later, alligator. Thanks for watching Radul Live. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Yes.